the Florida Keys, a tropical paradise and a destination for fishing, boating, and scuba diving. On today's special edition of South Florida Live, we're headed to the Upper Keys to discover some of the stops that make this string of tropical islands a must-visit for locals and visitors alike. South Florida Live starts right now.
Thank you for joining us for South Florida Live. I'm your host, Kristen Sanchez. I hope that you're enjoying your Labor Day weekend. We are at Snappers in Key Largo, and we're here to show you the many gems that you can experience when you come to the Conch Republic. We're going to start with the story behind this iconic watering hole.
A gentleman by the name of Howard ended up putting together Snappers, right? And, you know, he'd do a bunch of crazy little events, you know, to draw people over, you know, as he was a new restaurant in the Keys back in the late 80s.
Known for its quirky, fun events that kept local and tourists coming back for more, all that fun came to a serious roadblock when Hurricane Irma came through. The storm left a trail of devastation, but the Snappers community wasn't about to give up. Everyone pulled together, and through hard work and determination, Snappers was rebuilt.
Between getting involved with all the locals, constantly doing things for them, and so on and so forth, it became that local watering hole that is Snappers, you know. Unfortunately, when Irma hit, you know, it took the combined, you know, efforts of the community, the locals, the staff that used to work here, or some of them still work here, to come and clean up, you know, the guidance from Monroe County to get everything back into code and everything back to being a super safe structure.
From the ashes they rise. We are now sitting in the rebuilt Turtle Club. I'm here with Snappers General Manager Alex Del Bosque, who is here to tell us about the legacy behind Snappers. Thanks for having us.
Thank you for being here. It's an honor. It's so awesome that you guys made it over here to us.
I mean, it's just amazing that Snappers is still here, because what a transition that it's been through, especially after Hurricane Irma.
Yes.
Talk to me about the rebuild.
It was a huge rebuild, you know. Again, between the staff, the locals, the guidance from Monroe County, it took a lot. It took a lot to build this one really cool turtle club with an amazing view, it's been a lot of years, but it's finally come together.
Talk to me about the food here, because I know that everyone loves it.
Well, we've got variety, so that's a great thing. So if you wanted a quick bite to a 3-course dinner, we can do it. You know, we've got fried clam baskets, we've got whole spiny lobster that is now coming into season, all the local fish.
How did this become the iconic watering hole?
Oh man, the iconic watering hole that it is now, it's really, like I tell you, it's from the locals that just kept coming back, and then the locals would tell other people, hey, you know what, you should go buy Snappers. We do have the Turtle Club for local Monroe residents that offers a lot of discounts to them, but you know, we are open to the public for everybody. You know, you can hang out at the bar, you can hang out by the sandy beach over here, you know, or have dinner.
Yeah, well, you know, the Keys is very different. I mean, Miami, Broward County, very fast paced. I feel like once you cross that Monroe County line, I'm relaxed, I am on vacation. Talk to me about how Keys is just a different place.
It definitely is, and vacation is the right way to say it. I mean, it's vacation dinner, right? You can, even if you're dropping by for a day, you know, especially coming from the mainland, you know, you come by and you feel like you're on vacation. You just say, okay, cool, you know, I'm here, I had my great lunch, we're gonna go boating, we're gonna do this, you know, and it just gives you that slow down vibe of saying, I took a 1-day vacation to the Keys.
Would you say everyone's on island time here?
Everybody's on island time.
We like that.
Absolutely.
From the Turtle Club to a literal Turtle Club, if you continue your trek down south to Marathon, don't miss out on a small nonprofit dedicated to the rehabilitation of endangered sea turtles. Our community reporter, Miriam Tapia, takes a look.
For over 37 years, the Turtle Hospital has rescued and healed over 3,000 sea turtles. Located in Marathon, the hospital works closely with the community to help save the creatures.
So the Turtle Hospital is open 7 days a week to the public, and we rescue sea turtles in all of Monroe County, and that's over 200 miles of coastline in the Florida Keys.
The hospital will treat any kind of injuries the rescued sea turtles are suffering from.
Sadly, most of what we see in the sea turtles here in the Florida Keys are human impact injuries, and that is boat strikes. We see fishing line and fishing gear entanglement, plastic ingestion. We see this horrific disease called fibropapillomatosis, and it's only found in and around developed islands.
The facility is divided by different sections, from shaded enclosures holding over 23 tanks, a surgery room, to a pool holding 100,000 gallons of salt water. The sea turtles are well taken care of during their rehab stage.
We're in the nursery now. These are the baby sea turtles. We're looking at loggerhead hatchlings that hatched out in the Florida Keys just really within the past couple of days.
They're days old. Telling me off camera of the cold and hot weather affects the turtles and the population.
Does.
How?
And we have had some really hot summers.
Yes.
The past 5 summers have been the hottest on record for the state of Florida. Sea turtles have temperature-dependent sex determination, and simply said, girls are hot and boys are cool.
Okay.
So hot summers breed primarily females and cool summers primarily males. So what that means, the people that research, they're looking at eggs and hatchlings, they have found no boy sea turtles in the state of Florida for the past 4 years.
Based on the stat Betty just mentioned, the need to preserve and aid the reptiles come at an all-time high. In fact, 5 of the 7 turtle species from around the world are seen here in the Florida Keys. I hear there's a social media star among us here.
There is.
Talk to me more about Harlow.
Okay, so we have a celebrity, Harlow, that is just right now a social media craze, right? So if I go places, they ask about Harlow, not about me. So it's all about Harlow, but she is a female adult loggerhead sea turtle. She came in the end of June. She was really near death, and she was in critical condition, encrusted in barnacles, and she currently is in guarded condition, but she had critically low blood values. What does that mean? That means we were treating her every 4 hours around the clock for weeks. But now we treat her once or twice a day, and we're letting her get a little rest, and her blood glucose, her blood levels are starting to stabilize, which is a really good sign.
That's a good sign. I love it. The hospital, which is also a nonprofit, hosts guided educational programs as a way to educate the community about the turtles. If you're interested in the program or want to learn how you can adopt a turtle, you can visit their website, turtlehospital.org.
There's still more to come on South Florida Live. Experience the underwater world of a coral reef without getting wet. Join us as we hop aboard the Key Largo Princess when we come back. Did you know that the Florida Keys is home to North America's only coral barrier reef? This is all part of the Florida Keys National Marine Sanctuary. And guess what? You don't even have to leave a boat to see it.
What we say is the great thing about a glass bottom boat is anybody can do it from 0 to 111. So it's not a lot of athletic aptitude required. You just have to be able to ride a boat.
In beautiful Key Largo, you can find the Key Largo Princess, a glass-bottom boat that lets us see the amazing coral reefs up close.
We've been running a boat since 1982. This is our 3rd boat. We've worn 2 others out. So since 1982, we've been running 10, 1, and 4, and we've sneak in an occasional sunset trip here and there.
The Key Largo Princess is not just any boat, it's a 75-foot, 140-passenger glass-bottom yacht designed to give you a panoramic view of the breathtaking Florida Keys.
And Dad put out some feelers to find a glass-bottom boat, and he says, well, I have this catamaran, we put some glass in the middle of it and make it a glass-bottom boat. So that was how they put a bow and a stern on it, and it was a catamaran with a glass bottom.
As we set sail from the Key Largo Holiday Inn docks, our 45-minute voyage to the reef is a perfect time to unwind on the sun deck and meet the crew.
We take people out to Molasses Reef, which is part of our largest reef out in the Key Largo Marine Sanctuary.
We are currently 7 miles off the coast, floating in the middle of one of the solutions.
I feel like my job is host. I'm in charge of making sure that people have an awesome experience out here on the boat. So whatever that entails, if they need something that makes them feel better, they want to know more about the reef, they want to know more about the boat. My job is to create memories for people here in Key Largo.
Once we arrive at the reef, the real magic begins. Through large viewing windows located along the center of the boat, everyone can observe the coral reef in all its glory.
So I'm super lucky. I get to work with a great crew of people. I get to deliver a message of conservation, which is one of my favorite things to do. The reefs need our help. They're super beautiful, but we can all do something to help the reefs.
The reef, a living structure built off various types of coral with an array of sea life. But Captain James has made it known we have to do our part to preserve it.
Originally, it was just a tourist business, take people out, show them the reef, tell them about the reef. Now we try to teach people about the reef and the environment, how to help everything, how everything's interconnected is what we try to teach people now.
Do you feel a sense of responsibility to do that since you've been here for so long?
I don't like to consider myself an environmentalist, but I've kind of become an environmentalist over time.
And a few feet away on the dock, we're taking you on a journey through time. This is the iconic African Queen, a steamboat made famous by the 1951 film starring Humphrey Bogart and Katharine Hepburn. And if you didn't already know, she calls Key Largo home.
She's been not on her own hull, but she's been around the world twice.
The journey of the African Queen began in 1982 when James's father spotted an article in the Miami Herald about the boat being mired in mud on a polo farm in Ocala, Florida. The African Queen became a judging stand on the farm until James's father stepped in to save the day. He negotiated a purchase price of $65,000.
Dad brought the boat to Key Largo. He literally had George Bush Sr. sign it into law that she could work in American trade to be exempt from the Jones Act.
It took an act of Congress, but here she is. The African Queen was finally restored and brought to life in Key Largo. Today, you can experience the magic of this historic vessel firsthand.
They supply them with the story of the boat. They go through the photo albums from the movie, and it's a really cool experience.
The African Queen influenced much of the ideas for Disney's Jungle Cruise. The legacy of the African Queen continues to thrive in the heart of Key Largo.
After spending the day out on the water, you'll probably want an ice-cold brew. So we take you on a tour of the Keys' first microbrewery on the other side of the break. In the Keys, there's just as much to do above the water as there is in it. I got to speak to a captain curating these unique experiences.
Today, we're going deep, literally. This is Dylan McGovern. He's talking about some jaw-dropping stories from scuba diving, from underwater weddings to feeding sea creatures. Dylan's experiences are as exciting as they are unique.
It's easier than snorkeling. There's just rules. Yeah, like you've literally, the most important rule of diving is don't come up fast.
He compares it to opening a bottle of Coke.
When you open up the Coke real fast, all the bubbles escape.
Yeah.
Same thing with diving.
For those who love a thrill, you can discover wreck diving.
There's nothing like swimming down on a wreck.
Yeah.
That's 500 feet long.
Oh, that's cool.
And you feel like a superhero. You're flying down on a ship.
Yeah.
He gives a nod to the Spiegel Grove.
It took him 8 years to prep that boat, get all of the legislation, all of the people that were like, hey, you have to clean this, you have to clean that.
Dylan says the coral ecosystems are changing.
Now you have to go out almost 2 miles to see the same thing, and it's still not as healthy as it used to be.
He's seen it all, and he's here to make sure we're aware. And get this, underwater weddings are a thing. Captain Slate usually orchestrates these.
It's kind of set up in the same sense as a wedding, less obviously objects, and we still even do a pew, like we do an underwater pew. One of his claim to fame is he has one of the biggest underwater weddings in the world. It's 110 guests. It was actually a Halloween theme. Over 80% of the people were wearing Halloween costumes.
And the creature feature is not to be missed.
We actually got voted the top 10% of things to do in the world this year. We go down and we hand feed, obviously, creatures. The majority of what we feed right now are nurse sharks and green moray eels.
He even lets us in on a special moment with a nurse shark named Tupac.
My feet hit the water, he comes and bumps me with his nose, and I'm supposed to scratch him.
Oh.
Like he wants love.
Lastly, he gives a shout out to the legendary Captain Slate.
Diving would not be the same without Captain Slate. He's been doing this since, I think, 78. He used to have a 7-foot barracuda that would take ballyhoo out of his mouth. So to him, it's just another day in the water.
If you're on the hunt for island vibes, look no further than the Florida Keys Brewing Company. Miriam Tapia has what's on tap.
Snuggled in the heart of Isla Morada, the Florida Keys Brewery Company has solidified itself as the first microbrewery. Serving an array of delicious and refreshing beers, this family-owned establishment has been in the Morada Way Arts and Cultural District for 10 years.
We didn't have any breweries down here. So Cheryl is born and raised down here, so she really saw a need for that. And her husband, Craig, was actually doing like homebrew competitions and stuff, and he was doing really well with them. And she was like, hey, what do you think about quitting our jobs and starting a brewery?
What's been the secret?
I think just really taking pride in the fact that we're local and just we're little island vibes.
Before working at the brewery, Shelby wasn't a fan of beer, but after learning the process of how it's made, she grew a huge appreciation for it.
When I thought I didn't like beer, I was like, ooh, Bud Light, like just basic, like import beer, like just nothing. Like, and there's so many different types of beer. Like, I really feel like there's a beer for everyone.
Oh, so try a beer, don't shut it out. The next stop on our tour here is the microbrewery, right?
Yes.
That's right behind us.
Yep.
So let's go over there.
Perfect.
This is the heart of Florida Keys Brewery.
It is.
Talk to me about what's happening here. I see a lot of tanks. I don't know what's happening, but I know it creates this.
Back here is where all of our beer starts. So we distribute all throughout Florida, and if you get a Florida Keys beer, it starts in this room.
And then this is called a microbrewery.
Yes.
Right?
Yep.
Explain to me a little bit about what that is.
So we're small, basically. We aren't doing like wide production, like we're just in Florida, like I said.
Local.
Yeah, super local.
Shelby, we made it to the tap room. I'm actually behind the bar, so I can be whatever. That's so funny. I won't do it. I won't do it. I won't do it.
The Florida Keys Brewery Company has over 20 beers on tap, and it's always on rotation.
You guys have your tap room. You guys also have a beer garden.
Yep, we've got live music almost every night.
Okay. And what else do you guys offer?
We do bingo for a cause. So Tori and I will host bingo, and then we pick like a different foundation every month to donate the money to. And then we also do trivia pretty often with TJ DJ.
I cannot forget, if people can't come to the Keys, they can get your beers.
Yes, so most Publix, Winn-Dixie's, and Total Wines throughout Florida now have us.
Oh, it's a win.
Yes.
It's a win.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Shelby, for everything.
Thank you.
Cheers, salutes.
Cheers.
Should it be sweet, tart? Should it have whipped cream, meringue? We try to settle the key lime pie debate when South Florida Live returns. Key lime pie. It's a treat some love and some hate. But should Florida state pie be something sweet or tart, with whipped cream or with fluffy meringue? I put these key lime pies to the test, and no better place to do it than the award-winning Blonde Giraffe Key Lime Pie Factory.
People still come to this day, and they're like, we've been coming here for 20 years, 15, 10 years, like something that they're doing is working because it sticks with people. Like the recipe is the owner's grandmother's recipe. So I think with it just being like in the family, never changed or anything, I think that helps a lot.
The story behind the Blonde Giraffe is as delicious as their pies themselves. Founder Tanya Biguinati used her grandmother's Brazilian recipe to create a key lime pie that has been winning awards for over 2 decades.
And of course, you know their business just as well. It's a grandmother's recipe. What do you think makes it so special?
Well, unfortunately, they don't give me any of the top secret answers or anything, but I know that it's made with simple ingredients, which I think really helps. When you start adding a bunch of crazy stuff in there, it gets out of hand, but they just stick to, I think, quality ingredients and just sticking to the recipe 100%.
Tanya first made a name for herself in Key West after winning the Key Lime Pie Contest in 1999. Using her grandmother's recipe, Tanya created a pie with a perfectly tart filling, a crispy graham cracker crust, and fluffy meringue on top.
Let's go to the classic.
Yeah, the most original version is with the meringue.
Okay.
That, even though these are classic as well, the chocolate's not classic, but the meringue is like the original authentic version for key lime pie.
But Tanya isn't alone in this sweet enterprise. Her husband, Roberto Madeira, also came on board after moving to Key West with Tanya. Their journey started with a vegetarian restaurant, but after winning the first pie contest, they realized the demand for their key lime pies was too great to ignore. That's when they transformed their business into the Blonde Giraffe Key Lime Pie Factory.
And even if you don't feel like pie, there's just other things that you can get in there. So, yeah.
It's amazing. Over 170 creations of key lime something inside those doors.
Yeah.
170 creations. That's literally amazing. I didn't even know you could have key lime variations that go that far.
But that's not all. You can also celebrate love in a unique way by adding your very own Love Lock to the Love Lock Way in the Serene Garden while you're on your way to enjoy a key lime treat of your choice.
Okay, the main attraction. I am going to try first the key lime pie with meringue. That's good. That is pretty good. I gotta try the whipped cream now. I think I like the whipped cream better. So we need a second opinion. Jen, can you try the whipped cream?
In this one, right?
Yep.
I'm learning to be an influencer, guys, just like Kristen. We got this.
It's not easy, but someone has to do it.
I disagree with you. I think the meringue is better.
Wow. And the controversy continues, people. Because they are so good. It's like so close. So close.
No, this one.
But delicious. There you have it. Well, that's going to do it for our Florida Keys adventure. You can catch all the stories that you saw here right on NBC6.com. I'll catch you later.